Hi, this is Saurav, and today on my show, I have Riddhi Deorah, and Riddhi is parenting blogger from India, and she is one of my students of Instagram influencer mastery course, and I have seen Riddhi scale up from 2 to 3K to almost 100K in no time. And one of the things which I learned about her effort is consistency, and consistency in adding value in lives of many parents across the country. Today she is doing exceptionally well. So happy for you, Riddhi, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me here
My pleasure,
in this
Riddhi.
video.
Riddhi, I'll ask you a few questions so that it can help a lot of people who are listening to this video right now. My first question to you is, what did it take for you to start your journey to become an Instagram influencer?
So actually, this was not something that I had ever planned because I'm a very shy person otherwise. So I never planned that I'll be an Instagram influencer. So I feel the first thing that you really need to do is come out of your comfort zone. That's very important. So taking pictures and making it public was also a very big deal for me initially. So the first very important step for me was to come out of my comfort zone and to actually overcome that fear of being judged. So that was the first thing. The second thing that you really need is consistency, like you've already mentioned. You have to be very consistent about your presence on social media because there's so much happening on social media and there's so much distraction. So if you are not consistent about putting your content, people are just going to find somebody else. So if you are actually wanting to build your tribe, you have to be very, very consistent about your posts. So that is the second. And the third is you have to be very conscious about the content that you're creating, the quality of images that you're putting out, and the content. So what you're writing under your images, and if you're making videos, what is the content for the video. And because I'm in the parenting space, so my content also has to be very sensitive. You cannot use words that might actually offend a parent or might make them feel that they are not good enough as parents. So you have to also share content in a way that it is emotionally accepted and that people don't take offense. So you have to be very, very careful about the choice of words also. So I feel three, four things, and definitely you have to be very, very authentic and honest because and do something that you can really sustain for a very long period of time. Because if you don't like the topic that you pick, you cannot keep sharing content consistently. You'll not enjoy it. And it's more about how authentic and honest you are. Because, like earlier when I just started, I was very conscious about how am I looking and what am I wearing? Is my nail paint perfect? All of that. When I just opened my profile to the public, but now I've realized over these 3 4 years that nobody cares about how you look, whether your nail paint is perfect or whether your kajal is smudged. Nobody really cares. All they care about is what are you going to talk about. So just focus more on the content. Yes, aesthetics and everything is important, but that's a very, very small part of you being an
The
influencer.
value is the most important part, is what Riddhi is trying to say here, right, Riddhi? Awesome. You are truly an awesome influencer, and I strongly believe it, Riddhi. So, Riddhi, I have seen you grow from content creator to an entrepreneur. You started with affiliate, then you started selling your very own physical products, digital products. So, would you like to share something about that right now, Riddhi?
Right. So I feel that as far as the product part is concerned, I owe a lot to you and your course because in your course you had explained how to make money through affiliate links and affiliate products, and it was explained in a very, very simple way, and it was very easy to try and execute. So I went ahead and I tried, and it was very like a two-step thing. So I did it, and I saw that I was making money without doing anything, and I was also getting to put out good content for parents, which I was initially, which was the main aim for me from my page. So that's when I felt that I can do both. I just don't have to create content, but I can also create content and monetize my time. And for me, I feel the sequencing was very right So I first got introduced to your course, which helped me really build the audience on Instagram through all your amazing strategies like hashtags, creating the right content, doing carousel posts, doing the right stories, putting out content in the right frequency. So I feel that I built the right audience. And once I was, at somewhere 20, 30K, that's when I got introduced to Siddharth Rajshekar's course, which spoke about how to create digital products. And so then I went ahead and created a few products of my own. And for as far as how I decided what to create, I feel I got all the inputs from the audience. So I shared a Google form and asked parents what their biggest parenting challenge was. And so I got a lot of questions like and challenges. So I put them into different baskets, and then I went ahead and created products addressing every challenge. So there was stress, so then I was like easy stress management. Then there were parents who spoke about, I don't know how to stay calm. So then it was mindful parenting. How do I talk to my child? So then it was hero method of communicating with your child. How do we teach our kids? So then I did audio, video, flashcards, phonics, and that's how I created a lot of digital products. And then again, using the swipe up stories and swipe up features, I started selling, and I got a very good response for all my digital products. But then there is a school of parents, they didn't want digital at all. They were like only physical. So again, I responded to what they wanted, and I went ahead and created physical products for them. And that's how it started. So it's not like something I had planned. It's just that one thing led to another, and I kept responding to what people asked for. And I feel that's one reason why my products were also accepted, because I made what they really wanted.
Well,
And that's how it started.
awesome, Riddhi. This is superb. Riddhi, I remember you told me this that now you started a textile business and now you don't have to get back to that because Instagram has helped you make enough money right now that you believe that you don't have to get back to the textile business, which was hit badly because of pandemic. Would you like to throw some light on that?
Right. So of course, because textile business, like it was a fashion label for women, like it was an apparel brand, and it was doing really well. I had a store and everything, but because of COVID, overnight, all my orders were put to halt, and customers, they didn't even know when the wedding was, so they were not sure whether they wanted the outfit. So everything was on a standstill, and luckily for me, very soon I got introduced to your course. And it was very, very strange. And in fact, your webinar was the first webinar that I ever attended. And I was like, okay. And because I was so free, I was home, I had nothing to do. I was like, I'm going to attend this webinar just to see what a webinar is. Okay, so at time also I didn't have Instagram as the main focus. My main focus was to actually check out what a webinar is. And then you spoke a lot about Instagram, and I had spent almost a year on Instagram before I attended your webinar. And I felt that I knew a lot about Instagram, but it so happened that it wasn't true. There was still a lot to know, and in that 45 minutes you did add a lot of value. So then I was like, okay, in 45 minutes, if this guy can teach me so much, I really have to sign up to know more. And I'm a very spontaneous buyer when it comes to new information, knowledge. And that time I had so much time, so I had no reason not to get access to your course. So I signed up for your program, and I think that was a game changer for me, because after that, everything, happened. I kept executing everything that you had shared, and I saw the difference on my profile. I could feel a change in the kind of content that I was putting out. There were very few, very simple things that you had shared. Be authentic, be honest about what you're sharing. So I was being authentic, but sometimes, as humans, we have this herd mentality, and we start following what others in our space are doing.
So,
And I'll admit that I was doing that. So there was a part of me that wanted to create content that was different, but there was a part of me who wanted to do things what people would accept, because I was following other influencers in my space, and I thought that this is what parents want, and I was creating content like that. But then there was this video where you spoke about be authentic, be do what you really feel, you want to do. Don't, and there'll always be an audience. And in fact, there was this conversation I had with you where you mentioned that there'll always be an audience for what you create, because there are different kind of people and you'll attract your tribe.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this really made sense to me. And the same day I actually spoke to a friend, and he's big in the influencer space, and I told him that, I've been trying hard and I've been putting all the strategies in place, but my follower count is not increasing. I just don't feel uh, very happy when I'm creating content anymore. So he told me that, it's because you don't have anything exclusive on your page, anything that would actually make a parent, wake up and come and watch your space. So there's nothing unique about your space. What you're doing, everybody else is also doing. So, both these conversations happened on the same day. And I was reflecting and I thought that this really made sense. And then I was like, now I'm going to not look at all, I'm not going to see what people are doing. I'm just going to focus on what I want to create. And I feel that message from you and from my friend completely changed everything. I stopped looking at any other profiles. I was like, I'm not going to do
Compare.
anything what everybody else is doing, because till you're consuming, you also have a tendency to copy, because you are feeding your mind with that content. Automatically you start creating content like that. So I completely shut myself and I was like, I'm not going to watch Instagram. I'm just going to create and I'm going to post content on Instagram. And that, I feel, changed a lot for me. So I started creating content based on what I was consuming. So I was reading parenting books, so I started creating content based on those books. I was reading parenting blogs and research articles. So I started creating content based on that. And when I did that, I saw that, I was enjoying what I was doing. I didn't have to get ready and do things that, it was not coming naturally to me. And also, I felt that parents were resonating and accepting this information more. So that's how everything changed. And now I really like this. So
That's amazing, Riddhi. This is so cool to actually hear from you. Riddhi, I could see you reaching 100K, and now it's almost how much? 110K? How many followers you have now?
117.
117K, and that's pretty quick from the time we discussed your 100K followers. So congratulations again for 117. Now, what's the mantra to reach that fast? So if you could share with the audience that these are three things that they should be doing to get their followers or to get the right kind of audiences following them. So what are those three things that you would recommend? How consistent are you with your content? Would you like to share your mantra?
Right. So three things. First, I would say is educate yourself. That would be my first mantra. Because had I not gotten access to your course, or had I not actually educated myself about the kind of content that I can create, the strategies, because sometimes you might have really amazing content,
Right.
but your content will not reach the right audience. And then your content is of no use. So I feel that when you educate yourself about the platform that you're really wanting to focus on, so for me it was Instagram, and and I got access to your course. So I feel that, my content could have been amazing, and there are people who are creating very very good content on Instagram. But I feel it's very important that you also make that content available to a larger audience, and then you are going to enjoy your work more. And so I feel that educate yourself would be the first step. That instead of, investing a lot of hours creating content, first invest some time learning how to sort of make that content available to the right audience. And I feel that your course not just talks about making it available to the audience, it also talks about creation of content.
Right.
So it's a very very good mix of both. So educate yourself would be the first. Second would definitely be authentic. Create content based on what you like, what you feel is right for the audience, and create content which is focused not on you but on the audience. So don't create, you can create some personal content about yourself, but it has to be more about what people want. So, like how to toilet train your, like for my niche, it would be how to toilet train my baby, how to feed my child, how to feed the right things to my child, how to be less angry, more calm. How can I speak to my child so that my child listens. So understand what are the questions that parents really want, what your audience really wants to know, and then answer those questions through your posts,
Right.
through either a video or static post, whatever. So second would be creating the right content and being authentic about what you're creating. And third would definitely be consistency on social media. It's very very important. So like I had COVID, so for almost a month I was not creating that
Con-
much content. So I could actually see the reach and everything fall, but that's okay. Like, don't get lost in social media that you don't prioritize your health over it. So I had completely stopped posting for a month. And but you can always pick up and all of that. But yeah, if you are in good health and if you have no reason not to be consistent, I think consistency would be very very important.
Super. So that's a great thing you've shared. I think one, upgrade yourself. That's very important. Understand what your audience truly wants. And the third thing she says is just keep doing it. And that's where she is a benchmark because she's never stopped. And of course, health reasons is a different thing.
And I'd
But
also like to add one last point, that is that don't just start. Like, a lot of us want to be perfect and then start. That will never happen. And that is something that I had faced when it came to making videos. So
right.
I was so scared of making videos, and your course forced me to make one because it was a part, and we had to, part of the course, and we had to create it and we had to share it. And I was like, okay, now that I'm into this, I must follow everything that's being asked. So I feel that don't wait to be perfect, because unless you don't start and unless you don't try it multiple times, there is no way that you can be perfect. So the first time when I made a video, I remember that I wrote the script, I memorized the script, and I was really, and it was a very bad video, but I'm glad I made that video, because now I don't need a whole script when I'm talking. I can just know that, okay, these are a few things that I want to talk about, and even if I stop in between, I still continue the video. So I feel that just get started and start creating content.
Start and improvise in the journey. Perfect. So one last question before we end up, Riddhi. How did becoming an influencer change your life? Because I see now you are an entrepreneur, you are a content creator. I've seen you become coach and a corporate trainer. You almost become a celebrity in the parenting space now, and so I'm proud. I could see that growth of yours. And one of the things which I really admire about you is you just do this with all the calmness. Like I could see even when you're doing your videos, there is just one poisoness that you have. So what are those achievements that you've got out of it, and where do you see yourself going? So would you like to just share that with us?
Right, right. So again, as far as Instagram is concerned, or any other platform on the internet is concerned, like, for me, the main focus has always been content and creating the right content. And I feel that if you create the right content, you attract the right people, and then everything happens on its own. So I think 90% I feel should be content that you're creating. 10% is everything else. And of course, a lot of effort goes into it, so you have to be very passionate about what you're doing. And when you're passionate, then your effort will not look seem like effort to you. You will feel good after working. You will not feel very exhausted and tired after working. So I feel very excited if I get a new idea. I get really excited that, okay, now I have to do this. And it's like, on the internet it might seem that everything is working perfectly fine and it's amazing, but there are so many things that don't really work out, and things that you work on, like, really you spend a lot of time working on those things, and they don't work out for you. And that's also a part of learning and growing, and knowing that this is not working is also one step closer to your goal, I feel. So i I think that, like, for me, the count never really mattered that much. And I feel that if you attach too much importance to it, it's going to take a really long time for it to happen, because then your focus is not going to be on the content. It's not going to be on what people want, because you can just focus on one thing. You can't focus on 10 different things at the same time. So if your focus is on content, your focus is on creating quality content, then the count will happen. and everything will happen, and opportunities will come, and you can choose whether you want to accept or reject. So I feel it's been a beautiful journey, and in terms of, it's given me a lot of visibility, and visibility to the right people, I feel.
Right.
So that is the best thing about creating the right content, like, and this is just based on that one message that you had actually shared with me, that you just do what you feel is right, and you'll attract the people, the
True.
right people. And I feel that really happened.
Super.
So all thanks to you, Saurav.
Thank you so much, Riddhi. I think a good student makes mentors proud. And when I started this course, I had no clue that it would actually help so many people achieve some big numbers with respect to followers or increase their revenues. Because I have seen that happening now. So it's like a dream come true for a trainer to see this is happening. So it's all because of you and other students who achieve success out of this program. So thank you, Riddhi, for coming live and doing this session with us today. And I'm sure this will inspire many women out there to start their journey to become one awesome influencer. And Riddhi, once again, you are an awesome influencer, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.